Botond found an interesting stat about Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you share it with us?
Yeah. If we are talking about big time throws, the percentage of success of those big time throws, Jimmy is the worst from 32 qualifying quarterbacks in the league in the past 2 years, with only 2.6%.
What is a big time throw?
Well, it's hard to define, and I'm not sure if right now I have all the words that I need in English. So
Sure.
It's kind of a game-winning drive throw when you just have to make a throw to change the outcome of a game.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Makes sense.
And Jimmy is the worst of that.
Really?
So I don't know if you remember, you tweeted about 2 days ago an interesting and funny tweet about who to blame after a Super Bowl loss, after 2 years of that Super Bowl. And I was there and writing and laughing at the same time, just blame Jimmy. And it was just a joke, because I'm still thinking of that Kai was the main reason why we lost that Super Bowl. We can blame the refs, we can blame a lot of things, but you have to admit it, Kai was the guy who made mistakes during that Super Bowl. But it's an interesting fact that Jimmy is so bad at that kind of throws.
Yes, pressure on, gotta have it. Yep.
Because if you are looking for a franchise quarterback, you are looking for a guy who has nerves of steel and make these kind of throws when it matters the most. Remember Joe Montana, for example.
Yes.
So
absolutely. Or with the Rams, Matthew Stafford. Everyone talks about what he does in the fourth quarter and how he carries the Lions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you make players. Yeah, you make players better. You rise to the occasion. If you're going to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to make a bunch of big time throws along the way in that season. And what we saw with Jimmy Garoppolo was he kind of got everything went right. They started off 8-0, even though he didn't play super great in a lot of those games. Nope. And then he kind of the team sort of limped the rest of the way through the season. They went 5-3 to finish it. And in the Super Bowl, first of all, he didn't have to make any big throws in the NFC Championship game. He didn't have to make any big throws in the NFC wildcard game. And then in the Super Bowl, when he had to make big throws, he couldn't hit the broad side of a barn. So I think it's fair for the Niners to say, well, we've lost confidence and you're not a big game quarterback. Now, maybe they should have realized this a year ago and brought in Tom Brady, who definitely is a big time quarterback who makes big, but they have Trey Lance now, and maybe that's the right guy for them. So
yeah,
but Trey Lance makes big time throws. That guy wins a lot.
Yep. If you are thinking about big time throws, then I will just put quarterbacks into different columns. One column is for the great quarterbacks when they have pressure on them, and the bad quarterbacks, and there are a bunch of great quarterbacks who are otherwise not elite, but when the time comes, they are an Iceman, or I don't know who doesn't care anything else, just winning a game. That's it.
Well, in 2019, I feel like he was better at making big time throws, and his big time throws were the third down conversions. He was good at. He had, I think, the most third down conversions in the league. He also had a couple of famous throws to win games, like the one against the Rams at the end, although that was an underthrow. But still, also he had that nice game against the Saints. I think part of the reason he doesn't have big time throws, or in 2020 at least, is he's become so limited in where he can throw the ball, that everything has to be yards after the catch, and it doesn't seem like those are big time throws. Those are big time plays. Like, for example, when they beat the Saints in 2019, they gave away a lead. All right. They had a lead. They were going to lose. And then it came down to them with the ball at the very end. They had to convert and get down to field goal rate or whatever it was. Yeah. It was 4th and 1, 4th and 2. He threw his big time throw in that situation was a throw in the backfield to George Kittle's shins, which George Kittle reached down, grabbed, and then broke 8 tackles, carried 7 players. That was the big time throw.
Well,
so I'm not
to
surprised.
Be honest, I think that was more like a big time catch. And,
exactly.
Big time run with the ball, and not
if that's your style of playing quarterback, you're not going to have a lot of big time throws. And I think we're going to see a lot of all I know is from 3 practices watching Trey Lance, I saw a lot of big time throws. So I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen someone on this practice field even attempt something like that. So
we will see if he can perform when there are thousands of people watching him and expecting him to be the next great quarterback with 49ers.
It's going to be interesting to see if Trey Lance brings out the best in him, because I felt like Alex Smith's game took off or went to another level when he started playing with Patrick Mahomes. To me, Alex Smith was always super conservative and cautious, and he felt like that's how he had to play in the NFL. And then they're going to replace him in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, and he saw how aggressive Patrick Mahomes was in practice. And he's like, man, I got to play like this too to keep my job. And he did play that way his last year in Kansas City with Tyreek Hill, led the league in quarterback rating, really started airing it out down the field. Didn't matter, got replaced. Right call. But it brought out the best in him. And I wonder if Trey Lance will bring out the best in Jimmy. Like, Jimmy doesn't even try throwing deep anymore. He doesn't even try to extend plays. He's going to be going against a guy who does that every day in practice and makes his teammates go, ooh, and you know what I'm saying? So I'm curious to see if Jimmy tries to keep pace with that kind of horsepower.
Hopefully he does.
Hopefully he's going to need to.
Then we are going to need to place.
Yeah, exactly. The main threat says, I'm more intrigued by the running back and slot wide receiver competition. Sermon could end up being the bell cow, and Jennings or a healthy Hurd in the slot. What you think?
How I see that right now is that Jennings will be the main slot receiver this team is going to have during the season. That guy is a beast. Okay, he is not so fast, but he's a really, really, really great possession receiver, which is a really underestimated position in the NFL right now. And for the running backs, if we are going to change our style completely, then Sermon will be our leading back. But if we are not, then Mostert will still keep the number one running back spot for the next season. And I have some interesting ideas about Jalen Hurd. I do think that we will see some wingback formations from Kyle Shanahan next season, and we will see Jalen Hurd in a wingback position, in running back position, in tight end, and in slot receiver position as well. I think that he will be the X weapon of the 49ers next season if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I can see that. I think between Hurd, Jennings, and James and Travis Benjamin, the Niners feel like they have a committee that can be a number 3 receiver. And if you know, Jennings seems to be the fallback option if Hurd can't go. Yeah. And then if Jennings isn't good, Sanu's the fallback option there. And then Richie James and Travis Benjamin are awfully similar. So I think that's why we're seeing like the Niners not go after and kill Harry or other wide receivers like that. They feel like they have, whether or not I don't know if it's necessarily a competition. It might just be like a committee of guys who complement each other, even at wide receiver.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different guys with different talent pools, with different things they are good at. I think that right now Kyle Shanahan in a good position when he wants to try anybody from those wide receiver corps. I think that Jalen Hurd is a mismatch for almost anybody on the field when he's on the tight end position or in a wingback or running back position. And if he goes downfield to catch a ball, I think that Jennings will be a really, really great possession receiver. And all the other guys just give this team some different skill sets that Kai will use. I'm pretty sure that he will use all of them during the season.
Darian Small says a week ago, Jimmy Ward said on his Instagram story, would you consider me a safety? Do you think Jimmy would convert back to cornerback? I hope not. He's finally got a little success at one position, played there for a couple years in a row, and you want to move him back? I hope not. He's good in the slot against tight ends and some wide receivers, but he's a safety. I would consider him a safety. It's always been a safety.
I remember what I was thinking of him when we tried him as a cornerback for this team. I was thinking of him that he is one of our worst cornerbacks.
Good athlete. He just doesn't have the technique to play that position. I've talked to him about it. He's like, it's the hardest position to play. It's so technique driven. And most of the guys who are good at that have been doing it since they were in high school and have that technique ingrained. And he just looked like a really good athlete, kind of like a fish out of water, though. He didn't really know it. I've talked to him about that. He's like, man, I have so much respect for corners. I don't know how they do that. That's the hardest position. He's such a natural at safety, both free and strong. Yeah, he's a safety.
Yeah.
All right, one more from Domain Threat, and we're going to get back to our show. Thank you for the donation. Says, wide receiver core still needs a solid deep threat, though. And Mostert, I love him, but his upright running style isn't good health-wise. That's why Coleman started. Richie James Jr. is a deep threat. Travis Benjamin is a deep threat. I don't know if they can make it through a season.
Can play.
Brandon Ayuk is a deep threat. George Kittle's a deep threat.
We have seen Debo running some deep routes. Of course, he has not as good hands as the other guys have having this team, but he can do that as well. I don't think that we have a deep threat problem right now. The problem that we
had possession receivers actually
was the possession receiver.
They need possession receivers actually. You're going to see the deep threat. It's really been Jimmy holding them back. You're going to see it with Trey Lance. He's going to throw deep to George Kittle. Hey, turn me down a little bit, just a little bit on your computer.
Just a second.
Yeah, it's a little bit echo.
I'm sorry.
All good.
Okay.
All right, we're cool. Yeah. So that's that. And then in terms of Mostert, I like Mostert. He's in the last year of his deal. He's almost 30. He still has less than 300 carries in his career. Just let him play football. And if he can't stay healthy, then that's the story of his career. I don't know what you're trying to save him for, man. He ain't going to be here next year.
Yeah, but if he can help this team win 1 or 2 games in a single season, then he's worth his money. That's what I'm thinking of right now. And his unique speed and strength combination with that kind of unknown athleticism that he has, just keep him. He's a beast.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.